Hi, I'm Perrie.
Hello, I'm Jesy.
Hi, I'm Leigh-Anne.
And I'm Jade.
And I'm Tracy, and I am in the mix with Little Mix.
Ain't got no time for what you think can be described as love.
It's so crazy. You've been on like such an amazing journey. This is your first time in the US, and now this is your last final stop in LA, and you're here, which I'm so excited about.
It's a bit sad, really. Like, we've had such an amazing time. Like, it's been a wicked experience. The fans have been incredible.
Where have you guys, I mean, I know you've gone to tons of different cities. Where did you guys visit?
We've been New York City,
Kansas,
San Francisco,
Connecticut,
San Antonio,
LA,
Went to Dallas, which is my
Washington,
hometown.
Dallas, yeah.
Greenville, Charlotte.
Everywhere we could.
You hit all the points. You hit everywhere you needed to go, basically. I mean, is there one experience that just stood out the most to you? Was there anything that surprised you about America?
All the Mixers Me events have just been absolutely amazing. Like, from the turnouts of the fans that have come have just been absolutely amazing because we didn't know how many were going to turn up. And I think when we was in, is it San Antonio?
Yeah.
Yeah, we was in San Antonio. Like, literally, the fans just went around the whole block.
I'm not surprised though, because last night was your final one in LA and I was hosting it, which was absolutely amazing. The crowd was just like, I mean, screaming. There were so many fans. I mean, I was just like, I couldn't believe.
It was amazing.
I mean,
you just get overwhelmed by that.
Crazy.
Yeah, especially because we've only just kind of started out, like especially over here.
So you guys are really making history though, because you were the first group that ever actually won the X Factor in the UK on any of the shows.
We hold the crown. No one's taking it.
So how has it changed, that whole experience? It's been really quick, suddenly you're on the show and then now, you guys are already touring and you have an album coming out in the US, DNA. So tell us a little bit about what's going to be on that album.
Well, I think the album is basically a little mix of everything because, we've obviously got the things like Wings, but then we've got our darker side like DNA, old school, like 90s era, with How You Doing. And yeah, there is definitely something on there for everybody and we all have different musical influences, so we kind of just squash them all together in an album, really.
Food-wise, how have you guys been liking the American food? Anything? I know you were eating a lot of corn dogs on a video that I saw.
I think I just need to start chewing some carrot sticks and celery, to be fair, because I've had my fair share.
I think we all need to detox.
We feel like rolling back to England.
Yeah. The portions are like this, and you don't know when to stop.
It's bigger. I was going to say
Like,
bigger in
ours
Texas.
are like this.
But Little Mix are only little, like we can't handle it. Like,
Oh, I
that's a
can.
lot.
I get carried away myself.
Yeah, but then you feel sick after.
Yeah, I
so-
do. 2 corn dogs and 1 hot dog and 1 go is not the way forward.
I heard you have a phobia of sandwiches.
Yes, that's correct.
Can you explain that? Like turkey is scary.
No,
It's a scary
I
thing.
think you'll understand more maybe over here because basically it's more of a fear of butter on bread.
Isn't this normal?
No, they say this.
Because you know
we
what?
say
It's
this
like
in the
saying we
UK.
put cheese on everything. Like you just have to put butter on everything. Butter and cheese.
Right, we're confused because whenever we have this conversation in the UK, everybody goes, what? You don't like butter on bread? And everyone thinks she's a weirdo. And then when we got here, everyone was like, right. And we're like, she doesn't like butter on bread. Nobody does that. And we were like, huh?
Do you know what? It's making me sick when we start talking about
Just talking about it makes everyone
And she's not leftovers either.
Right, this is what they do. Oh, it makes me sick. It's literally, they'll mush their food up like it's baby food and like eat bits of it and put it back and they'll eat it. Like
That's what they
eat
do?
each other's food. You eat like the mash that's left over on
Yeah,
them.
mash. Mash.
I know it's slimy and it's been in her mouth and it's.
I don't go like this. Unless she eats it, I'm not cuddle.
So who are some of your, biggest inspirations, like music-wise?
Mine is Steve Perrie from Journey. I'm just obsessed with him, but I don't think it's ever going to happen. I just want to meet him.
Mine is, I've got 3 really. Missy Elliott, Beyonce and Gwen Stefani.
Oh, love them all.
I grew up listening to Mariah Carey, like I absolutely love her. And also grew up listening to like old school R&B, like slow jams. I love Jagged Edge, Jodeci, Joe, Boys to Men. Love slow jams.
Mine's Motown. I love Diana Ross and Stevie Wonder.
We all had the same like mindset of what like we wanted our sound to be. Yeah, no one disagreed or anything. We all kind of had the same idea.
Yeah,
so
we
it
have
was
different
really good.
influences, but the same taste.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And so, getting back to your US mini tour, I think what's really cool is it's huge on social media. So you have like all your fans doing cool contests. How was that experience? What kind of challenges did you give them to do?
We did like individual ones like Make Leigh Laugh. Jade's bow tie one, the bow tie challenge where they had to design a bow tie. We've done my 2 different styles, so it was like a hippie side and then my rocky side, and they've done little collages. And there was a beatboxing challenge for Jesy. So there was loads of like individual ones, and then there was group ones, and we did not expect for 1 second for it to be that big. All the fans were like becoming friends because of it. Like loads of our fans would be like, oh, I've made
so
friends
cool.
because of you guys.
I think that's why they really have such a, you know, they feel like they know you so well now. Speaking of fans, because obviously your fans are amazing and incredible, has there been any really funny, crazy fan story? Like, what's been the craziest fan encounter?
Well, we actually haven't had like fans run after our tour bus, but we have here.
I heard you say that somebody ran like 200 blocks.
Yes, they ran like this sprint in the Olympics.
Bless him.
Like,
He was a fast runner.
oh my god.
Can you see him running?
Yes, he was so
Every time he stopped at a traffic light, he was like, and then would go again and be like,
and then he was on the phone, he was like, oh my gosh, this guy is determined.
One girl ran into a trash can.
Yeah, she was running that fast and she was like waving and running and waving, and she just went boom into a trash can.
Physically in a trash can, like you would
but
see
that
in a
didn't
movie.
stop her.
No, she got back up and she started running again.
That is insane.
Dedication or what?
So what can your fans look forward to? Because you guys are clearly taking over the world.
I hope so. Fingers and toes crossed. And legs and arms and body.
Everything across.
We have a ton of fans sitting in the room right now waiting for these beautiful ladies right here, for Little Mix to go on and perform. They're so excited. I'm sure I'm going to be hearing lots of screams right now. Let's see what happens.
The logo, Little Mix, has symbols that represent each of you guys. I have to talk about your fashion for a second. All I can do, I can't stop staring at, like, I'm like, I want this, I want this, I want this.